Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wine Time. I'm either your wine mom, vodka aunt, or your Diet Coke cousin, depending on your age, preference, and religious practices. I desperately need to be loved. It's a year of disasters. Indiana Jones, The Flash, The Mandalorian, TV remakes of iconic films flopping about like fish in a barrel. I'm a vegan, and that image is extremely upsetting to me. But I'm also a film and TV lover. I love visual storytelling. I think it's one of the things that we as humanity can be proud of creating. It can bring people together for the viewing experience, for the teachable moments, but also now, you and I, over a glass and dissecting what it all means, brah. Something is definitely in the water at Hollywood, and it's fecal. The only thing that can save the industry is the double feature of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Here's hoping that they can work some necromancy and resurrect the art form, bring back the joy of going to the movies, and re-establishing trust in an industry that has for so long been nothing but a pit of screeching nepo babies telling the layperson that they just don't get it, and that we're fascists if we don't agree with their on-the-surface white feminism, pseudo-political takes that is so pandering to us lefties, it ends up being right-wing. If we so much as whimper out a not for me response to the muck they're throwing at us in return for our time and hard-earned cash. But really, Netflix this year has been releasing flop after flop, coming off the back of a terrible PR from their greedy financial choices regarding account sharing. I'm not surprised that The Witcher Season 3 has premiered with 18% less viewers than Season 2. Not that Season 2 made me want to watch Season 3, but the audience, already decreased from Episode 1, waned over the first half of this season initially released. We all knew that this was coming, not to claim to be some oracle, but losing Henry Cavill, the expose of the writers actively and loudly mocking the source material, the serious lack of direction, and the very obvious budget cuts, and the lack of love or any attention to detail. Doug Cockle, the voice of The Witcher in the famed video game trilogy that I've never played, has gone on record to say that he would 100% believe that Henry Cavill left the show due to the treatment of the storylines because Henry is such a fan of the source material. Doug Cockle also said that he personally doesn't understand the choice to deviate so wildly, and after the articles came out about how disparaging they were of the source material, the material your leading man loves so much, it's not a shock to say that Season 3 was, well, not great, and we were low-key expecting that. After the lack of The Witcher in The Witcher Season 2, the change in narrative, and the rumblings of toxicity in the writer's room and in development, Henry's love for The Witcher, Lauren's hatred of Henry's love of The Witcher, we've seen this time and time again. Big production companies buying popular IP and retelling them for the screen and absolutely ruining it with their half-baked agenda and the chip on your very expensive shoulder. Once again, everyone is after Ciri. Couldn't tell you why. She's extremely bland and her personality flip-flops from childish to wannabe monarch to bratty to Mary Sue, depending on what the writers want from her. You can't get attached to a character that has no defining traits, who isn't three-dimensional, who is merely a piece of blue tack that you can mold to whatever you need at the time to push your agenda. Nice found family moments that will make the fans wet their pants. Okay. The next second, having confidence in herself and her newfound heritage to unite two species, one that has historically and continuously been oppressing the other because she can just do that? Being a bit of both? Yes, because that's how that works apparently. And this is what I mean about the writer's room these days. They're all peddling a message and politics that they personally are not best placed to discuss. The why can't we all just get along rhetoric doesn't work. Not where one side's beef is that they've been systemically and continuously oppressed through warfare, through socioeconomic means, and so on. Because that's not how it works. And if you're gonna peddle that message, you then need to back it up in your canon. Yes, it's fantasy. But if your fantasy can't give you the rules and the writers are peddling an external message that makes no sense, then you're well within your rights to interpret what they are telling you using the set of rules you know and understand. Real life. Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri are having a cute old time, moving from place to place to keep safe. Ice skating, fishing, little found family things. Notwithstanding that Yennefer, genuinely honest to God, tried to sacrifice Ciri last season to get her magic back, it's slightly touched on, a joke that Geralt hasn't forgiven her for this, but Ciri and Yennefer are besties, and I guess this happened off screen, because the Witcher writers couldn't even figure out how to patch up their own horrendous writing. Show, don't tell, used to be the old adage for screenwriters everywhere. Maybe now they're teaching feed. don't explain. They shoveled this Ciri Yennefer best friendship down my throat with no explanation as to how, why, what's in it. Is it lactose free? I don't think so, because they milk it for all it's worth and my tummy hurts. Geralt forgives her too in like the space of an episode, so really, what does it even matter? Now we can get back to the will they, won't they, while they co-parent a grown child. These writers have never met a kid, because she acts like she's 10, not 15, 16, or whatever she's supposed to be. And back to Yennefer, look. I love a redemption arc. I think if it's done well, it can be a great story. But giving Yennefer a redemption arc mostly off screen and in the space of an episode and a half, this is impatient writing. This is not caring where your story has been and wanting to rush through to where you think it should go. There was no time, no care, and certainly no real development to get to that point. A redemption arc would have been perfect across an entire season, showing the character learn, grow, and most importantly, atone. Freya Allan isn't the strongest actress in my opinion, and I felt bad for her throughout the last 2 seasons because she plays against some truly indomitable performers and is given nothing to work with. The same happens here, except she has even more screen time, so it's even more obvious. She reads the script in hair and makeup. I don't even get a chance to believe that this is Ciri. There's no substance here. And don't get me started on the makeup girl, they did you dirty. Anya Chalotra, who plays Yennefer, has a similar treatment. The only difference is Anya at least has a level of acting ability we can call competent, but the material that has been steadily getting worse each season has really hit rock bottom in season 3. So creating this double act leaves a lot, and I mean a lot, of dead air. Hell, I talk to myself, and I'm drunk, and even I try to edit out the dead air. Okay, where was I? There. Oh yeah, literally all the other characters are just there. There's a lot of them, and not a single tale has been written compelling enough for me to even have the energy to remember their plots and discuss them. Jaskier has a little romance. This one's for the Tumblr girlies, as he has a cheeky snog with Prince What's-His-Face, sings a song, and ducks out. Honestly, iconic behaviour. There's once again no sense of distance and no sense of time. The first episode does it okay, and then all of a sudden it's like they fast travel over the place. They go back and forth to Jaskier and the time it takes to jump cut. What? How? Did they portal? They didn't show us, and it happens all the time. Did this half of the season go over a couple of weeks or months? No one knows. There's a scene where they say it would take too long to get to one location, and so they have to get a ferry. This is absolutely for a monster setup. Actually, in the episode before, we see Ciri riding from that location to this one, so it couldn't have been that far, right? Right? Hey, is anyone checking this stuff? I've seen more quality control in a late night chip shop. This, with the terrible dialogue, questionable acting, laughably bad costume, hair, makeup, and fight staging, made me want to forget whatever I saw as soon as I saw it, not making me a great reviewer, but here we are. So, all in all, will I be watching the second half? No, and neither will the majority of this audience. Nothing was given the time it needed, the split was awkward, and there was no sense of time, place, or distance. There were no stakes, and there was little to no characterization. What is the point? As we rev up to a new Geralt, I wish we could also replace the entire writers' team. Well, watching this has driven me to drink, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you watched Season 3 Part 1. Will you be watching Part 2? Will you be watching Season 4 with Liam Hemsworth? Bye!